It's really great to be back here in Los Angeles, in California, and also here in Perfect Circuit. Last year, we also hosted an event here the Monday after NAMM. It's a lot of fun to see all the people that didn't make it to Anaheim or want to escape the NAMM tracks. Let me start by introducing myself. My name is Wouter. I'm from Koma Elektronik. I'm here together with Robert and Isabella. We have survived NAMM. I have to say this is my best after NAMM voice that I ever had. Normally what it comes down to is well, I'm happy that I don't have to do that tonight. We're happy to be here together with the guys, the other Europeans, Frap Tools and Erica Synths. And we would like to start the night by showing you a little bit about what we have been working on the last year, what's coming up, and we're gonna top that with a session by both Uchi and Red Bastard. We're super happy that they are here too. Yeah, maybe let's just dive right in. Koma comes from Berlin. We started in 2011 with a bunch of effect pedals. You see one of them over here. And we soon started making a bunch of other stuff. We have made sequencers, filter modules, a quadraphonic mixer, like this one here, controllers like the Commander, where you can use light sensors to change voltages. And last year we came out with the field kit, which is this isn't it cute? Which is a little box for electroacoustic experimentation. So you can use it to amplify sounds from contact microphones or use the radio to pick up radio signals, use CV to scan through the radio. You can combine it all in this little mixer that's already on board with like super awesome Q filters, so you can very quickly kind of filter out what you don't like about the sound and use the stuff that's good. There's a speaker output on there, so you can just make feedback loops. I love making feedback loops inside bottles and kind of see what the resonation of the material does. There's a DC interface, which lets you run motors. And today we were at NASA at JPL. We were fortunate enough to be guided around. And motors are everything. Seriously, it's amazing. Today was a transformative day for me. Space robots are so awesome. I'm talking about synthesizers here, but I wish I could give you like half an hour of my whole experience of today, because trust me, so awesome. Okay, that's the field kit. Machine came out last year. We funded it to Kickstarter, and it was a lot of people have it. Is there anybody here that has the field kit? Come on, there must be one. There you go. I always say when you do a talk, you have to do a little bit of like audience participation, but when it then falls flat on its head, it's a bit painful. Okay, good. Let me go forward. So, field kit. This year we have the Field Kit FX. Comes in the same box, and it's a little machine to make. Well, it's an effect machine, pretty much. A pretty elaborate one. It has a looper built inside. Oh, okay. When I say field kit, and I'm not showing the box right now, here is the boxed version, but it also comes as a Eurorag module, and the camera's on that one, so maybe it's exactly the same. The one is in a box and the other one isn't. So there is a looper and a frequency shifter on board, digital delay, a spring reverb with external spring tracks, so you can just hit on it, touch it with your fingers, put some needles on there and really softly touch them. There is a 4-channel VCA mixer with both tone control and VCA, so you can use it as a full-fledged VCA section in your Modular Synth 2. It comes with a 4-step sequencer and a ADSR. If you look here in the middle, okay, maybe I should also look there, that makes more sense. If you look here in the middle, you see this bar with a bunch of LED lights and push buttons. And when you push the button, the light changes. And by doing that, you are applying a voltage that comes in here in the CV interface. There's 4 voltages that you can send in. There's LEDs under them. Probably you see it better like this. There's LEDs right there. And those LEDs correspond to those LEDs here in the CV matrix in the middle. There, where that'll... It's not very handy, this, but where this line is. Okay, so what you can do with the CV interface, which is the last section of the FieldKit FX, is you can send voltages in, and then by pushing these buttons, you can assign those voltages to this whole row of controls over here, which means that you can pretty much control all major features of the unit with control voltage in such a small space. Super handy. So we have a very basic setup running right now. It's just an oscillator over here. We're making some envelopes here in the bottom with the ONC, using an LFO to get some stuff going, and maybe we should just touch some effects and to see what's up. Okay, first off, this is the frequency shifter without any voltage applied. You can change the amount, you can change the bass frequency, and you can control the sideband input to it. And then what we're doing right now with the Rolodex is run a little sequence, and we can apply that to the frequency shifter by going to the purple input number 2. And now this one is running the amount control. Let's add another effect, I would say. This is obviously the digital delay. All the effects are freely patchable, so you can just plug and play, use it in different setups, take them out of the device too. You don't. Right now we're only using one of the channels on the mixer. let's try to control the time here of the delay and see what happens. Okay, now we applied voltage number 1 on it, which is an ADSR from the Ornaments in Crime. All the inputs are biased, so whatever voltage you send into it, it just adds on to what the setting of the knob is. So right now it's just a simple. You can also, of course, put that little roller deck sequence on there. You just push it one more time. Right now the fourth voltage here is applied to the time input. Probably will get a lot of noise when we also do it with feedback, so we should try that too. There's also a gain input, and let's just turn it and see what happens. So with this CV interface, it's super easy to just apply all these voltages, move them around, and just automate your effects in ways that is, you know, more than just turning it on or off, or just, you know. You only also have two pairs of one pair of hands, you know, so you can't do everything at once. Okay, let's just try to put this now in the spring reverb. Now we're used to it. There's a little filter in the spring reverb. It's a Q filter, it's a nice little resonant filter in there. Feedback control right now is on low pass. It's probably best to put something more like jumpy in there to get a better idea. Which one is it? Wait. Oh yeah, let's do a little comparison. Wait, because now you hear the spring, of course, but this is how it sounds without the spring. We'll just put it in another channel here. So yeah, that's quite a difference. It's an effect, you know. There's also a bandpass mode. Okay, and then there's one more feature I think I should show, because also you can apply voltages to this too. So here's a little sequence again on the cutoff. We put this little sequencer and ADSR on there just so you could just have something right there, patch it in and get some results. You can trigger it with any type of gate signal. There's a sort of a threshold knobby thingy here. So you can assign one of those CV interface inputs to the sequencer, the Rolodex, the sequencer and the ADSR2. Right there, right now, it's the orange signal. And then with this threshold button over here, you can kind of move the threshold around. And then, for instance, if you send in really weird audio or weird voltages, then it will just take all the peaks out and run your sequencer on that too. So you can do some weird rhythms that maybe are not even rhythms, you know. Okay, last bit. Okay, let's just do something with the. Okay, and next up, let's do something with the looper that's on board, because that's also fun. So there we go, that's the Erica Synths Pico drums. Straight, there you go. That sounds a lot better. And I say that because it's actually not a bug, it's a feature. It's the sample rate reduction. The looper is not only a looper, it's also a sample rate reducer and a bit crusher. So if you just are not looping anything, you can just put stuff through it and it will make it sound more dirtier. I wanted to make a club reference in Berlin, but I didn't know how it would fall. So yeah, and it is supposed to sound like this also. I'll say that, you know, it's not the system. And this is the bit crusher on top of it. And this is just a bit crusher. And this is none of the two. That was actually a good demo. Okay, now let's loop something. You hold in the button until you had enough, you know. And now it's looping. Let's pull the cable out. So, and now you can do the same thing on this again. So you can just... And then you can also loop over it again. And then you're at a gobble party, huh? Yeah. You can release the sound by just pushing the button again. Oh wait. Yeah, it's like it's that one, and this is now the original signal again. So yeah. So quick and dirty, you know. That's it's, you know, you should just be. We feel that when you have a piece of gear in front of you, you have to be able to just plug it in, and it should just immediately give you stuff to work with. You know, it's 2018. It's just like where. Okay, Field Kit. We are currently in production. We did a Kickstarter for this one, and that will be shipped. Those will all be shipped in starting March. And from April on, we will also start selling all the pre-orders from our website, and we will start shipping to dealers too. So stay tuned. My colleague Robert will talk about something very important and something not many people always think about when it comes to starting a modular system, and that's power. But I think he's going to make it interesting.
I'll try to.
I'll just put the bar up really high now. I'll be back with you shortly. Here's Robert.
So I will be talking about Strom. Strom is our modular power supply. Last time we were here, last year, we showed like the final prototype. Now it's in production. It's a modular power supply, takes in 15 volt DC, delivers all the usual rays, plus minus 12 volt, plus 5 of course. And we also have the so-called Strom Plus, which will give you kind of like a feedback of your current consumption, right? Because some people, they rearrange their rack all the time, and you don't want to read your data sheets all the time and calculate it, so you just want to be safe that your power is all good and all fine to go. And this module will tell you that. It will tell you that by just having green LEDs. If those LEDs turn orange or even red, you know you did something wrong. And this is pretty much like also like the thing that we went for. We want to have it being like a power supply that's A, affordable, B, clean regarding the power and ripple, and C, safe. So we have pretty dedicated short circuit protection in there per rail, which is resettable. So it's not like the short circuit protection would destroy the module or something like this. It's actually a protection. It will protect the module itself and all your other modules from failure. And if everything goes really wrong, there's also like a replaceable fuse in there. So if you would really put beer on your system or whatever, this fuse would break and save hopefully most of your modules. And additionally, I think, yeah, it should be visible on the video. You have this little connector up here, which makes it possible to chain a bunch of those modules together. Because like we have this case system, which is kind of also modular, so you have like separated skiffs, and you might want to rearrange those, and then it's really easy to just to like hook this active module connected to a passive module and distribute the power from this module to the rest of your case system. Exactly. That's the Strom. The basic version will cost you 99. The Strom Plus is 129. Exactly. And it will also become a little brother very soon, the so-called Strom Mobile. And what it does is it makes use of USB power banks, and it will transfer the output voltage of these power banks into either 9 volt or 12 volt DC, so like most of your pedals, little effect boxes, or maybe also the field kit can be powered just from a USB power bank. And because of course we want the people to be able to take the field kit and also like other gear that they like to the field. And that's our answer to this problem. So we thought like there's power banks widely available, they're rather cheap. You can buy them in like a great variety of capacity, starting at like $10. And this will make use of those. So you have 2 separate inputs. They are up here. Standard USB-B connectors, we choose those because they are kind of like rigid. You can't like really, I mean, we all know these like micro USB connectors, they fall off easily. That's nothing you wanna power your gear with. So we went for those connectors, and then here on the bottom you have like the standard DC jack, 2 per line, but of course there are like also these daisy chain cables, so you could power like 10, 12, how many ever pedals with it. And since there's also like so many different USB power banks, we thought we also build in some security in here. So this line of LEDs, where just like the low one is active right now, which says, oh hey, the unit is on, this line will show you how much current you draw from this power bank. Because this one is, I think, capable of delivering up to 2 amps. Older ones might only deliver 1.5 amp. It really depends on the actual power banks and whether there's actually safety circuitry in there. Because like the really cheap ones, of course, they don't really have like a safety feature. No, the power bank switched off. So we thought we put this display in so you could actually see what's happening and you know whether you are safe or not. And yeah, that's the Koma Mobile. Will be available in roughly 8 weeks from now at a price between like 80 or $100. Yeah, coming with like specially made USB cables. We will also provide like those DC to DC cables, some adapters, daisy chain cables.
All right. Koma, thanks you for your attention. Thanks you for coming. It's always great to be here. It's good to meet all creative musical people.